All right, Jake Roos, UGAsports.com here with you, talking to 2020 Hillgrove defensive end, outside linebacker. It doesn't matter. He can play all over the defense if you need him to. That's MylesMurphy. Myles, out here for the 5-Star Challenge. Pretty big honor. One of the few 2020 guys that made it. Just talk to me about this experience, first off, what you're looking forward to, and what you hope to get to show.
This has been a great experience because being one of the underdogs coming up here, so it's, I guess I have a lot of expectations, but I have a lot of stuff that I'm trying to improve on. And what I'm expecting to do here, just showcase my talent, what I'm good at, and I guess the coaches here can help me improve on what I need to improve on. And yeah, it's going to be a big learning experience.
Absolutely. And, you're a guy, you mentioned you're going to let the play do the talking for itself. You certainly do that at Hillgrove for those guys. Obviously, a lot of schools have taken notice. I covered Georgia specifically. Let's talk about the Bulldogs. I know that you've been up there to visit them several times. We caught up with you back in April, I believe it was. Have you had a chance to visit them over the summer yet? Any of the recent stops?
Yes, I went to a camp. It was back early June or late May. I'm not sure when it was, but it was a pretty good experience. It was just a practice there. It was really just a workout to see how the D linemen work, weightlifting and outside. So, and I got to talk to the coaches there. So,
what did you take away from that? I mean, did you learn anything about the way they go about their business that you didn't already know?
Well, I've been there so many times. It's all pretty much natural to me now. But every time I go to UGA, so nothing's really new every time I go. So it's kind of like just visiting.
Sure, absolutely. Talk to me a little bit about Trey Scott. He's a guy who is, finding his footing, I guess, with the recruiting search this year, looking for the right guys in 2019. But I know that you're one of the top guys for him in 2020. How's he as a recruiter? Talk to me about his approach, how he goes about his business, just overall working with him in that regard.
He really tries to become great friends with you. He doesn't try to rush anything. He doesn't try to lead you to say anything or nothing. I guess he's used to the recruiting process. He's really good at it. So, yeah.
How would you say he compares style-wise to other coaches? I mean, do you feel like in some instances there are those guys who are like, hey, let's go ahead and get this thing out of the way. Let's go ahead and get you on board. You say he takes his time. Is that not always the case?
Well, not always the case at different schools, but with him, it's just taking your time. He's very chill about it, and he's actually not that old at all. He's probably in his 20s, I think, so he knows all the stuff that I know, and
okay.
Like I said, he tries to become the best friend with me.
Sure. Now, you've been up to Georgia a lot. You've had a chance, I guess, to spend some time with some of the players. Who are some of the guys that you hang out with when you go up there? I guess you're pretty familiar with the team at this point.
Yeah, I hang out with pretty much everyone there because not everyone there, but most people there, they grew up in Georgia, being Georgia fans, just like Justin Fields and Jake Fromm and all them. So some of them I even grew up, like Aziz Ojolari, he went to Marietta High School, so right down the street. And Robert Bill, I grew up with him down in North Cross. And so it's just a lot of people that I know there. So.
Sure. So, I guess with that being the case, what's your level of comfort when you go there? I mean, you said it kind of feels natural when you're there. Is that pretty fair to say? I mean, is it? Yeah. Do you get that home feeling that everybody talks about?
Yes, it is an at-home feeling. It's almost like visiting relatives. Because it's the same people. It's trying to, every time I go there, it's not like, what have you not seen? Because I've pretty much seen everything. So it's trying to catch up on what I did this past few months. And
what about the role of Kirby Smart? How big of an interest has he taken in you? How big of a role does he take in recruiting guys? I mean, he's the head coach, so he's got his hand in everything that happens. But we hear that he's very active when it comes to recruiting as well.
Yeah, he's very active. He's always on his feet. He's really taking a break. Like he from one recruit straight to me, straight to me. So he's back. So he's always recruiting 24/7.
How does that compare with other head coaches? I mean, does everybody kind of go about it that way, or is that something that he does a little bit different?
That's actually, I'm I'm not gonna say very rare, but it's not likely that every coach is gonna be doing that. So it's something that is very unique about
What's been his and Trey Scott's message to you? What have they told you about why they need you, how you fit in with what they do? Just overall their impressions of you and how you fit in with their program.
They say, well, like they said, they call me a freak talent. Like with my size and my speed, it's I guess not really seen by many people. So it was very special for me to go there.
Yeah. Okay. Now, last thing for you, I overheard you mentioning earlier, top list coming soon, some top schools. Georgia's chances of being in there, I would say pretty good. Okay, all right. And last thing, does it help Georgia at all? Does it give an edge, or does Mom ever mention? I know she's a Georgia grad. Is she a Georgia fan also?
She's a big fan.
Okay, so did she ever mention, hey, it'd be cool to watch you playing in Sanford on Saturday?
Oh yeah, she mentioned that, but she said that the decision's up to me, so she's not going to force anything on me. So.
Absolutely. Awesome. MylesMurphy, one of the top guys in 2020. We'll be keeping track of him at UGAsports.com. Thanks, Myles.